So there were some parts that really made me mad, and then the end of the show, I get why they did it, but I still don't. I don't like the fact that John Cena, for the most part, came off like he was just beating Brock Lesnar's ass. Like that irritated me. Not because I'm a Brock Lesnar fan, just because if you're going to have the false finish anyway with the DQ, why the hell would you not have them going into the Hell in a Cell match? I mean, you don't even have to do that. The match could have went 5-10 minutes of just those two going back and forth a little bit, and then Lesnar looking a little scared, like, holy shit, maybe this is a different John Cena, and then have Rollins come in when Cena trying to win or something. But don't book the match like Cena just barrel rolled over Lesnar. That pissed me off so bad, man.
I think the match itself between Brock Lesnar and John Cena was very good. They had to change it up. It couldn't have been a complete squash once again. They had to do a different style this time around.
Absolutely.
They gave John Cena a more offense, obviously, than they did last time, but it was also done in a way that he wasn't completely dominating Brock Lesnar, thus taking away from his credibility. The matchup itself, I loved. I really, really enjoyed it. But like you said before, I think the finish itself, like you said, I know why they did it. I understand why they did it. They want to build towards Hell in a Cell. I mean, it makes sense. We often complain about Hell in a Cell not having that same meaning that it used to, and we can't get blood in a PG environment, but Hell in a Cell matches should be used for these kind of feuds to blow off a feud as opposed to a placeholder or something like that.
That right there to me is why I said that Cena coming back and doing this in the first place was the stupidest idea I've ever heard. Don't even have Lesnar on the pay-per-view. He doesn't need to defend his title the way 5 weeks after winning it the first time against Cena. In the Hell in a Cell, that would have been incredible for those two just to have their, if John Cena wanted his rematch, have it in the Hell in a Cell. Because now we have what? We have 3 John Cena Lesnar matches that were pretty much in the same environment, with the exception of the first one. And then now you get a Hell in a Cell. It's uneven matching. And why not have the third and rubber match in the Hell in a Cell? Why do you have to have that 4th throwaway match? That just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, that really made no sense. I understand why they had Brock Lesnar in Night of Champions. It is Night of Champions after all, but the fact that they booked this the way it did with the disqualification, at least make it go to a double DQ with the two trying to beat the living crap out of one another, because that was another thing too. We'll talk about this briefly. Going into Night of Champions, on Monday Night Raw, Paul Heyman was playing up the fact he was playing all Emperor to John Cena's Luke Skywalker, and that he was trying to transition him over to the dark side, have him go heel. John Cena said, "I'll never do that," and all that kind of stuff. So they're trying to tease a John Cena heel turn for the millionth time. No one bought it, but they could have at least attempted to try to tell that story in this matchup. It wasn't even like John Cena tried to take a steel chair and got himself DQ'd or anything like that. That would have made sense with John Cena.
He came out and was John Cena.
Exactly, exactly it.
Super Cena, and people are sick and tired of it.
Exactly. It made no sense. It didn't go in with the story. It didn't make any sense with the story they were trying to tell going into this pay-per-view. Like I said, love the matchup, but it was just not consistent. What they could have done instead was have them go to a double DQ or have Cena get himself disqualified, having this anger come out of him, get himself DQ'd, and then he walks away. Out comes Seth Rollins to cash in on a beaten Brock Lesnar.
And even the Star Wars Han Solo, whatever,
the Sith thing, yeah.
Would have been way better utilized heading into a cage match.
Exactly.
As opposed to just a regular old, here comes Cena down to the ring with his towel. No, nobody cares. That would have been an incredible angle. And then they completely blew it with that cartoony nonsense they did the week before WrestleMania. Here's the thing. I love realism in wrestling. I know wrestling isn't real. I'm not a child. I know that. But any kind of the less I have to defend my disbelief to believe something, I am more entertained. And the Monday before Raw, you're going to put Paul Heyman in the thing, and hey, Great Khali hasn't done anything in 6 months. Let's just put him by the door. No, that was stupid. And then you're going to tell me that a Division I amateur champion, a Division I champion NCAA wrestler, a former UFC heavyweight champion, can't break the guard of John Cena when John Cena's throwing fake wrestling punches at his face, that was the stupidest thing. Those two should not have even touched each other before the pay-per-view, let alone have Cena tackle him. And you're going to tell me that Brock goddamn Lesnar, of all people, can't break the guard of John Cena? That is insulting to me as a wrestling fan and as a person with a brain, in my opinion.
I can see why they're trying to set up the Hell in a Cell matchup. It should be a great contest. But another thing is that, I don't know about you, but I'm getting tired of this feud, and I like long feuds and stuff like that. With Brock Lesnar not being on every Raw, it kind of makes it a little bit better. And they have yet to announce that they're facing each other at Hell in a Cell. There was a report that was saying that it has yet to be.
Assuming.
Yeah, we're just assuming. It looks like they're going that route. And if they don't go that route, then the booking of last night or Sunday's pay-per-view makes it even worse. But
Absolutely.
We'll get to that in a second. But I just don't know how they can drag this feud out. And Hell in a Cell isn't for another 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It's in 5 weeks. So I don't know if I can live with another Paul Heyman, John Cena encounter. And it's not like Brock Lesnar can wrestle on Raw and build towards a pay-per-view. Lesnar can't wrestle on Raw, so it makes it a little bit harder for them to build towards this match for a third time.
Maybe I'm just a Paul Heyman mark, I guess you could say. But Paul Heyman could sell to me for 52 weeks out of a year that Eskimos need to buy ice. He really could. He can. If anybody can stretch it out and make it at least somewhat entertaining, Paul Heyman could do it. So you got to keep that in your back pocket. That no matter what, you're going to have a man that can continue any angle. No matter how you could put him in the middle of the Bella angle, which is the stupidest angle in the history of wrestling. Well, but I don't know if we'll talk about that or not. But like you could put him in anything. So I think that he has. I hate to put it all on one man, but he could extend any feud with anybody. So I don't think that would be an issue. I wouldn't mind seeing another 5 weeks of Paul Heyman trash talking John Cena and then going back and forth or whatever. But as long as it's done in a different way and not just, I'm a good guy and you're the bad guy. But it's John Cena, so that's probably what it would be.
No, I agree. Paul Heyman is a master of the microphone. He's been making these segments with John Cena so entertaining over the last couple of weeks. So I look forward to him cutting these promos if that is indeed the route they take. Hopefully they just don't get stale with it, tiresome. Hopefully they can find new ways to make it fresh and keep it consistent with the story. So I look forward to that.
Or even better, keep Heyman and Lesnar both off television. And then have Heyman kind of show, for the first time in his career, doubt in Brock Lesnar. Have Heyman come out and, have like maybe a backstage segment or Heyman, just for the first time, just not kind of doubting Brock Lesnar and just saying, you're this, you're the former UFC heavyweight champion, the reigning defending, whatever. And you're going to let a man like John Cena and just have Lesnar, just these vignettes of Lesnar training with Heyman just like barreling in his ear. You could do that for 5 weeks, and that would pump me up over another program of what we just saw.
Oh, exactly. I think if they had the video packages or backstage segments with Paul Heyman, I think they can make it work. I think they can make it entertaining. But the only thing, my only gripe with this feud right now, is the fact they never really followed it up at all. Last night on Raw, there was no Brock Lesnar, there was no Paul Heyman, there was really no mention of the champion himself. That was the only issue with it.
If I was never a wrestling fan, if I knew nothing about wrestling, and I tuned in to last Monday night's Raw, John Cena would have been the World Heavyweight Champion.
Exactly.
If I'm watching the show, I'm going, oh, this dude's the champ. This dude doesn't like that guy. Oh, okay, cool. Like, that is what it was. You book John Cena as a babyface heavyweight champion. And all you do is, Lesnar beat him. Nothing. No Heyman being digested about what happened. Anything. So if you're having an off-television champion is fine, but you gotta hammer the point that, hey, these guys are doing what they're doing, but this guy is the man. This guy is the world heavyweight champion, and that's not what they did the following Raw, and that was very disappointing to me.
As a follow-up show to Night of Champions, I definitely think they've failed in that respect in making Brock Lesnar mentioned. They never mentioned it at all. That was the only issue with it. I mean, I know they showed the footage of the ending of the matchup, the end of the championship matchup. It really made no sense. They really need to come up with a better way of booking going into Hell in a Cell. What was that?
They mentioned Florida Georgia Line more than they did their World Heavyweight Champion.
That says it all right there. Exactly.